Hello, everybody. This is Gabby Panetta from the All About Wellness podcast. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Jennifer Savage, who is the owner of Jazzercise Amherstview, which is actually located in Kingston. Amherstview is right beside Kingston. Welcome, Jen.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Jen, I you're going to be part of the All About Wellness Expo that's happening May 30th to June 1st at Portsmouth Olympic Harbor. And you're also going to be giving a free class for Jazzercise.
Mhm.
But tell me a little bit about how you came across Jazzercise as a business venture. So how did your journey with Jazzercise start?
So it started back in 2000. I was in a very deep depression, and my mom had been going. I was living with my mom at the time, and I remember teasing her a lot because she'd come home and all energized. She was going with a friend, and they'd come in singing and dancing and having a lot of fun, and I would just always roll my eyes and kind of just go back to bed. And finally, she decided enough was enough. She hated seeing me in bed all the time. So she dragged me. She didn't give me a choice. She said, "You're coming with me." And so off I went with her and her friend, and she just kept pushing. Every night she went, I had to go with her. And within 2 weeks, I was hooked. I love to dance to begin with. And so jazzercise combining dance with a workout, just it seemed like a great fit. So that was in the 2000s. Early 2003, I became certified as an instructor. Taught until 2008 when some things happened in my life that didn't go quite so good. So I took a hiatus for about 10 years, put on a lot of weight, even though I continued to exercise, just because I found that during that previous when I was working out with Jazzercise, like my just overall mood was just so much better and it got me out of that depression. Like I think it saved me at that
Mhm.
point. I really do. I say Jazzercise saved me. Um, and then I just couldn't find stuff that really worked for me that I enjoyed as much. There was a new owner, and I was like, "Hey, would you guys welcome me back as a student? I need something." So I came back as a student in 2018. And then I just before COVID, I went to them and said, "Hey, thinking about recertify. Never thought I would recertify again in my life. I thought I would only be a student, but I had lost some weight. I was feeling better about myself. A lot of the students wanted me to become an instructor again. And so I was like, hey, can I be an instructor? And they're like, yep. So I recertified during COVID.
Okay.
And then this past, well, almost a year ago, things kind of came to a head with the franchise. The owner was like, I have to make some tough decisions. Our numbers were down. And, it was just a matter of, do we want to lose this business and shut it down? Or Jen, are you willing to kind of take the reins and see where you can go with it? And none of us, there was four instructors and none of us wanted to see it close. So that's how I became the owner. I'm like, okay, my turn. I'll take the
Nice.
reins. So
Amazing.
here I
Yeah,
am.
I'm so glad that you actually made that choice. Uh, I was talking to somebody yesterday and I said, I don't think I'd be here today if it hadn't been for dance.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
through a very rough period of my life, I have a very dysfunctional upbringing, and dance was my outlet.
Hmm.
Dance is what got me through the rough moments.
Yes.
And even though I have zero coordination, but dancing just got me through the emotional storms of what was happening in my life and the trauma.
Yeah.
So I always recommend people to move just to release stagnant energy, because
Yep.
that contributes as well to, feeling low energy, just low in general in mood. And I was really happy to come across you and invite you to be one of the presenters. You'll be giving a free class at the show,
Yes.
so
Yep.
really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And tell me, in terms of, and I know you mentioned your own depression, but there's been so much research done with regards to the benefits of dance in general for Alzheimer's, dementia, and just
Yes.
raising people's mood, changing, shifting the energy. And what have you seen with your clients?
Oh gosh. I think a lot of what I see, well, a lot of what I see is the camaraderie, the social connection, which is really huge for
Oh,
our own mental
yes,
health, right?
much.
Um, Jazzercise, you mentioned not being coordinated, and that's the thing about Jazzercise. We are so accepting of everybody, no matter what size you are. You could be like a size 0 up until like size 20, 28, 27, whatever, right? The whole point about jazzercise is that you're moving. It doesn't matter whether you get the steps right, you're moving. And those social connections that people have formed. So when I started back in 2000, the owner there, her and I became very good friends. And to this day, she's a military, her husband was military, they posted and moved away, but she is one of my best, dearest friends. Like I could
Lovely.
call on her. Which is huge. Like I said, social connection is good for your mental health. The overall feeling of, we have retired people and they'll say, oh, had no energy. It was so easy for me to stay on the couch. And like, nope, I haven't been to class. I need to get to class. So, they'll say, I've dragged myself here. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here. I feel so much better. And,
Yeah,
so that again, like you said, that endorphin release, those happy hormones that just get released with it.
yeah.
I think
And the
those are the
brain.
biggest benefits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So tell me, and you mentioned, that somebody with two left feet can join, and it doesn't matter whether you have experience or not. So
Yep.
anybody can join. What is your like? Do you have kids coming in? I know you mentioned people who are older. Is
Yeah.
it open to everybody, any age?
So we do have what waivers we have to sign. So it's usually 18 and up.
Okay.
Right now the average is usually mid to late 30s. And up. My oldest individual is 81, and she's been doing it for over 25 years. Um,
Wow.
I know she was doing it before I started, and so when I count back, like that's 25 years ago when I first started. And she comes, well, now we have 5 classes a week right now. She comes 3, sometimes 4, just depending on the weather.
Yeah.
And, prior to COVID, we had up to 9 classes a week, and she was coming 5 to 7 times a week, right? Like
Amazing.
she's a powerhouse and she loves it. And she's almost like a mentor to my new students that come because she like coaches them, she encourages them. She'll say to them, I don't even know what I'm doing, and I've been coming since day one type of thing, right? So
Yeah.
again, it doesn't matter if you have 2 left feet, right? And she says,
Right.
they tell you what to do, and if you don't, just keep marching, right? Like everyone
Yeah.
can march. Everyone can move their feet, 1, 2. I don't care if you march the entire thing. You're there,
Mhm.
you're moving, you're not sitting on the couch.
Yeah, it's so important. I had you made me think of two clients, a couple that I used to work with years ago, and she was 89, he was 91. They
Hmm.
still drove, they were still very independent, and I used to say to them, Keith, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
And he said, well, Gabby, and he was British. He said, here's the thing. If we didn't work out every day, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And
True.
he said, so don't ever stop moving.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
the
That's
reason we have our independence is because we do what we do. It's taking care of the body so that you can move.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we've got different varieties in jazzercise, like different types of classes. And so we've got ones that actually challenge your brain a little bit more because it's not just standard cardio. It's like we'll have HIIT classes where you're doing strength training, then all of a sudden you're going to get a burst of cardio, put those weights down and let's do something else. Let's get those feet moving. And then we have stretch classes. And so everything just to kind of keep you on your toes. And because we've also have a lot of variety in the choreography we do, again, it keeps people guessing, right? And keeps that
Yeah.
cognition going as well.
I know you mentioned before about a class specifically for women my age in
Mm.
menopause,
Yes. Yeah.
which is very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah. We just launched it in April. It's called Vital
Mhm.
Sculpt HIT. And our CEO, so Jazzercise has been around for over 55 years. We're an international company and we're based out of California. So our CEO is the second generation. Her mom is the one that started it. And Shanna is her name. And she postmenopausal and she was like, things aren't right. My body's not working. I've got brain fog, like all this stuff. So she started doing research for well over a year and realized women our age need to work out differently. So that's how we
Yeah,
came
we
up
do.
with Vital Sculpt HIT, where it really is designed to help perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal women keep your brain sharp, but also help
Yeah,
you rebuild muscle and bone density and keep that strong within you. Because even though we're at that age, right, we can still build up what we need
yeah,
to, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and it enhances strength and mobility and really promotes overall hormone health, right? So,
Very important.
yeah.
Awesome. So, how can people get a hold of you? I know you mentioned before your email address is the best way to do so.
Yes. Yeah. So we were in Kingston for the longest time. So our email is actually jazzercisekingston@gmail.com. Even though we're now in Amherstview post-COVID, no sense in changing a good thing that's what people knew us by. So I'm not
Yeah,
changing that email address.
good.
So all lowercase, easiest way to reach. We do have a Facebook page as well. It's well, not a page, it's a group, Jazzercise Amherstview. And I am on Instagram. I am not a big Instagram person. I'm learning it as I go, but we
Yep.
do have the Jazzercise Amherstview Instagram as well. So
Okay.
those are always to get connected, but the best way is usually email.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jen. I look forward to seeing you at the show and anyone out there that's interested in just learning a little bit about movement for
Yes.
improving your health, contact Jen. Thank you.
Absolutely. And first class is always free. So
Oh,
you can always come and try it out. First class is always free.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
There you go. You have no excuses, people. Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome, Gabby. Thank you so much.